How is it going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. A bit of a quicker video for you today, as I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite graphic design / resource websites that you should be using in 2024. But before we get into the video, I would really appreciate it if you guys dropped a like and subscribed, as it really helps my channel to grow. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So starting off, we've got one of my favorite websites that I use to find fonts, which is called fontest.com. They've got tons and tons of fonts on here, you know, all the different types. Display is one of my favorite kind of sections to use. And what's really good on this as well, if you, let's just say we're going to serif, you can tick free for commercial use or personal use. So you basically covered on all fronts. And they've got tons, like thousands of fonts on here. And I always kind of go back every couple of days and just see if there's anything new added. But yeah, really great range of fonts, different types, scripts, obviously serif, sans serif. And they constantly update this website as well. And obviously, like I said, there are fonts that are free for commercial use. So if you want to use them in client projects, you're more than welcome to do so. And then carrying on the fonts theme, another font website that I was using quite a lot during university and at the start of my career is Font Squirrel. Again, they've got a lot of fonts which are free for commercial use. Not as much variety on this one as Fontest, but it does have a couple of fonts that you can't find on the other site. So again, it might be worth taking a look at this one to find any kind of different fonts if you can't find exactly what you're looking for on Fontest. And last, we've got obviously Google Fonts. You know, you can't go wrong with this website. They've got some really classic fonts, you know, Roboto being the first one there. And again, I kind of go back on here, maybe not as regular as the other two, but I kind of check out if there's anything new added, and you can straight away download the whole kind of family of styles for each font, which is great. And it's just a really easy website to use. And kind of to round off the font theme, we've got fontsinuse.com, which is quite a fun little website. It just basically shows real life usage of fonts, and obviously straight away you can tell which fonts are used. And it can also give you ideas of kind of how to do typography in a way, as well, as quite a lot of it is shown through, obviously, like I said, real world usage on posters, books, and kind of print and editorial. So it gives you some great ideas for layouts and typography in general. So yeah, I highly recommend this website. Use this a lot, and it does help in my kind of overall design work. It really gives you some really creative ideas and some really simple ideas as well with how to lay out the type. But now moving on from fonts, we're going to go into assets. So asset websites, my favorite one of all time is texturelabs.org. They've just got a really high quality range of textures on here and just images in general. So you've got, you know, obviously loads and loads of textures. You've got all the different tabs on the side. I do like to use ink and paint quite a lot, which is great. So you've got PNGs as well of certain brush strokes, which is great. And obviously just some collages and things like that. It's an amazing website to use. And they've got these collections as well. So the categories, and you've got collections, and you've got grace to overlay, which basically just means you use the overlay blend mode on Photoshop and it kind of will pop up with all the details. And also when you click on this, as you can see, they've got really high resolution textures and images to use. So I would really recommend this one. Probably one of my favorite asset websites to use. But carrying on with the images, unsplash.com, another one that I love to use, especially for displacement maps, as they've got loads of different tabs that you can use up here. Textures and patterns is my favorite one, and they've got some insane images for free on here. They've also got a plus subscription, I believe, Unsplash Plus, as you can see with the little plus symbol, but honestly, I don't think you'd really need it. They've got a really massive collection really of all the different images, and I literally visit with this website daily, and I use this in basically all of my recent work. But the third website that I use for assets is Brusheezy. Probably not as common to visit this one as the other two, but I've kind of amassed a collection of brushes for Photoshop already that I use kind of on the regular. But if you want to look for any kind of splatter brushes, paint brushes, powder brushes, it's all on here, nicely laid out. You know, you've got the top brushes categories, and you basically just you can go to town and download any of these for free. Powder brushes are one of my personal favorites. I use them on backgrounds quite a lot, so I would highly recommend it. But now moving on to inspiration websites, Pinterest is obviously it's a very popular website, but I don't think as many people use it as they should. Like, it's so good, and the more you use it, the better it is. It kind of figures out, the algorithm figures out what you're looking for based on your previous searches, and it just creates this kind of daily feed that's refreshed all the time with pieces of work for inspiration. And I spend quite a lot of time on Pinterest when I'm stuck for ideas, and even when I'm working on different pieces just to kind of keep my mind refreshing and seeing if I can come at a piece from a different angle. So yeah, really, really great site. And to kind of complement this, I use the Inspiration Grid, which is slightly different to Pinterest. It's got more of a project layout to it, but again, it kind of gives more, just a bit more variety rather than single images on a lot of these. You've got full project sites. And again, you just spoil it for choice with this one, really. You can just keep scrolling and going through different pieces of work just to get some different ideas and seeing how things are used in the real world, or on mock-ups as well, just to give you kind of a different taste and kind of a different idea of how to use your designs and how to mock them up. But yeah, really, really great website. Use this along with Pinterest and you're going to be sorted for ideas. But talking of mock-ups, my favorite site of all time for mock-ups is LS Graphics. They do have some premium content, but obviously, if you want to pay, go ahead. They've got some really, really high quality mockups, but they do have a free mockups tab up here. And again, these are just insane, really, really high quality images. You know, they've got up to date mockups, you know, latest iPhones and things like that. And they've got a really, really big range of different mockups. You know, they've got digital ones, they've got t-shirts, you know, watches, tape, we've got everything. So really highly recommend if you want to mock up any products that you're working on and things like that, definitely check out LS Graphics. But now, the last two websites are kind of extras, I'd say, as I don't really use these as much as all the others. But Firefly, which is an Adobe product, if you've got a Creative Cloud subscription, you've got this for free, which is an AI generation software. So similar to Midjourney, if you've ever used it. You know, you've got text to image, you know, you've got text effects and things like that. Text to image is really, really great to use on this. And you can see the gallery of things that have been created in the past by other creators out there. But yeah, if you've got a Creative Cloud subscription, definitely do check this out. I have used AI to create textures and elements for the background of my work quite a bit recently. Probably not as much in the past month, as I've kind of tried to create things by myself, really, just to get a bit more satisfaction rather than clicking a button. But it is very fun to experiment with, and you can come up with some interesting results on that. So I would highly recommend that as well. And to round off the Adobe suite, you've got Colors by Adobe, which if you're ever stuck with a color palette and you don't know what complemented colors you could use, you know, to contrast a color on your piece, or again, like I've said, just to complement the piece, just to add a bit of variety, go on here and you can explore color themes, and you've got, you know, 5 kind of primary colors that they suggest that go really, really well together. And yeah, I use this quite a bit just to add, even if it's like a single color piece, this can just give you just that bit of variety, so it's not as flat. You've got a bit of like the darker colors. Let's say you've got darker shade of blues and light blues, and you know which ones to use for shadows and highlights essentially in a piece. And yeah, it just makes your life a lot easier. But yeah, that's basically it for this. If you find any of these websites useful, please do leave a like and obviously comment with any ideas for videos that you guys want to see in the near future. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, obviously leave a like, subscribe, and I will be seeing you within the next couple of weeks in my next video.